It's that time of year again. Time to make these beautiful eggs. But how in the world do you get the insides out of the eggs so that you don't have to hard boil them and you can keep those eggs forever? Well, I'm going to show you how right now, and it's really pretty easy.
Well, I'm going to make my Ukrainian eggs again, and I'm teaching a class in person as well, and having my family and friends over to do it with me too. So I had to empty out a whole bunch of eggs, and I thought I would show you how to do it so that you only have one hole in the bottom. And it's relatively easy, I have to say. I usually end up losing about 2 eggs out of a dozen because they have a crack in them and they just pop. So I poke the hole with a pin that you use for sewing, and I kind of push it in there kind of hard. You hold the egg firmly, you push it in. I'll show you exactly how I do it. And you can feel it going in, and once it goes in, that's the hardest part. Then you just take an X-Acto knife and you very carefully twirl it around until the hole gets big enough so that your tool, whatever you're using to empty out the egg, will fit in. So I'll show you how to do all of that. It doesn't take long, and you can just watch a movie while you're doing it. So once they're empty, I wash them and then I dry them with a hole in the bottom. I always save the cartons because they're perfect for putting the eggs back into, but also when I have a class or someone come over, a friend, to do the eggs, I have something to put the eggs in to give to them. So I always save the cartons whenever I have them. Once it dries, a lot of times there's a little shiny spot on the bottom, which is just from the egg yolk or egg white. And I do wash that off because I'm not sure if the dye will stick to it. Once it's dry, though, you want to take a little bit of that wax that you use in the tool and make a little tiny ball and stick it into that hole. Or you can also use your drawing tool, heat it up, and put a blob of wax in there to plug up the hole. The reason you do that is when you're dipping the egg into the colors, you don't want all the dye going into the egg. It just makes it really hard. So I'll show you how to do it right now.
Here are the tools. Here's my eggs, and I'm going to do a dozen. So I cover the top with a piece of masking tape. This is the tool I was talking about that's kind of like a syringe. Works great. And then my X-Acto knife. And then, of course, I need the pin to make the holes. So here's my pin that I'm using. And I'm holding the egg firmly. Of course, you don't want to break the egg. You just hold it firmly. And then I kind of wiggle the pin around. And I'm actually pushing quite hard into the egg. And you can kind of feel it going in. And then once it goes in, which it just did, that's it, you're home free. You stick the X-Acto knife into the egg and just start twirling it around carefully until the hole is big enough to fit your tool comfortably. So that fits right in, and I'm just pressing the empty bottle so it's pushing air into the egg. And I usually have a container of water next to me too, so I can keep cleaning off that syringe so the egg doesn't dry on there. And so next, once I empty most of it out, I filled that bottle up with water, and I'm just squeezing some water into the egg, and I shake it. And this is how I clean out the rest of it. Now I'm going to just do the same thing again. I'm going to just push air into it. And as you can see, what's coming out is still yellow. It's not fully cleaned out yet. There was still some yolk in there that wasn't coming out the other way, so the water helps get it out. And then I do it again a second time. I fill it up with water a second time once I empty it out, shake it up, and then the water comes out clear. And then I know that my egg has been cleaned out, and then I just dry it with a hole facing down.